Charles's Great Adventure. Once upon a time, in a cozy little house, lived a boy named Charles. He loved to explore. His pockets were always full of interesting things. A shiny pebble, a fluffy feather, or a curious leaf. He spent hours watching tiny ants march in a line and busy bees buzzing around flowers. Charles always had questions. Why do birds have different colored feathers? He'd wonder. Why do some flowers smell sweet and others have no smell at all? He dreamed of traveling far, far away to find answers. One day, a grand ship called the Beagle was preparing for a long journey around the world. Charles, now a young man, was invited to join. He packed his notebooks, pencils, and a special magnifying glass. Adventure awaits, he cheered. The ship sailed for many weeks across the big blue ocean. Finally, they reached a beautiful sunny island. The air was filled with the songs of brightly colored birds. Charles watched a parrot with feathers like a rainbow eating juicy red berries. On another island, Charles saw something amazing. Giant tortoises, bigger than any he had ever seen, slowly munched on leaves. Their shells were like ancient, bumpy rocks. He carefully drew their pictures in his notebook. As they visited more islands, Charles noticed something very interesting. The birds on one island had long, thin beaks, perfect for sipping nectar from flowers. But on another island, similar birds had short, strong beaks, good for cracking hard nuts. How curious, he thought. Why are they so similar, yet so different? He collected samples of leaves, shells, and even tiny insects. Every day, he filled his notebooks with drawings and questions. After 5 long years, the Beagle finally sailed back home. Charles had hundreds of notebooks and boxes full of treasures from his journey. But most importantly, he had many new ideas bubbling in his mind. He spent many years thinking and writing about everything he had seen. He realized that animals and plants slowly change over a very long time. They change to best fit the place they live, like the birds with different beaks. Charles's big idea helped everyone understand the natural world in a new way. And it all started with a curious boy who loved to ask questions and explore. So keep your eyes open and never stop wondering. Back in his study, Charles spread out all his drawings and notes. He looked at the tiny shells, the pressed leaves, and the carefully labeled insects. It was like a giant puzzle, and he had all the pieces, but how did they fit together? He spent many, many hours thinking. He watched how new plants grew in his garden and how different animals behaved. He talked to other scientists and read many books. It wasn't a quick answer. It took a lot of patience and hard work. Finally, after many more years, Charles started writing a very special book. In it, he explained all his amazing ideas about how living things slowly change to survive better in their homes. He called it On the Origin of Species. When his book was published, people all over the world began to read it. Some were very surprised, and some were very excited. His ideas made everyone look at nature with new eyes, understanding its wonders in a deeper way. So, from a curious boy who loved collecting pebbles and watching ants, grew a man whose ideas changed the world. Charles taught us that by observing carefully and asking questions, we can discover incredible secrets about our planet.